welcome to another episode of Inspire Moments with Jumoke. My name is Jumoke Olagunju, and this program is brought to you by the Inspire Design School of Fashion. It's a weekly program whereby I upload different DIY projects that things you can easily do without needing major tools from home. Alright, so today we'll be learning how to make the house slippers, and as we've been doing for the past several weeks, we'll be making use of African print, and we'll be making the slippers from African print. It's not a bedroom slippers, it's a slippers that you can wear inside the house to keep your feet warm, and it promises to be a great class. If this is your first time joining us on this program, you have missed a lot, but you can still catch up. Check our YouTube channel, the Inspire Design School of Fashion. Try to subscribe, turn on your notifications so that you get notified each time I upload a new video. And then if you want more interaction with me, and to have access also to the previous videos, join our Telegram channel, Inspired Moment with Jumoke. You can just search for that on Telegram. You should be able to see it. Join the class, and if you have any questions or you want to join our online classes on dressmaking, shoemaking, bag making, you can contact me on the phone number on the screen. So today, let's not waste time. Let's get to the drafting table and make our slippers. Thank you. Alright, so we're going to be doing a little bit of drafting. First, okay, let me show you the materials we'll be using. For the outer sole of the slippers, I'll be making use of this mark, which is a very soft one, and it has like a rough edge on this side. So this will be the side I'll be on the outside. It will help for a solid grip on the floor so that you don't keep slipping off the floor. But actually you can use any material you have as long as it is waterproof, because occasionally you step on water and you don't want your slippers getting wet and your feet getting wet through the slippers. So use any material that is waterproof. You can use like PVC or leather or imitation leather, or even tarpaulin, anything that is waterproof. And another consideration is it must be something that is not so heavy. This is very light. It will be easy to carry, because the aim of the slippers is for it to be light and easy to wear. You don't want something that will be so inconvenient when you're in the house. And also we'll be needing an interfacing. Also for that, anything works. Just make sure that your interfacing is soft and fluffy, something to give your feet soft landing, or how do I put it? It makes it soft when you are putting on your slippers, and then it also gives the slipper structure. So I'm going to be using this interfacing. It's actually fusible. I can iron it on, but I may not need to actually iron it on, and it's also very fluffy. So that's what I'll be using for the interfacing. Then you need your fabric. Now for the first drafting, we need to draft the outer sole. Now there are two ways to go about it, or even more ways, but one is that you put your feet or your foot on top of this and then trace it out. Then you can put maybe ½ inch allowance all around it. Another method is to use like one house slippers that you already have, something like a flip-flop, and then place it on the mark or whatever material you're using for your outer sole. Then trace it. I'm going to do this for the two sides. It's going to be different. I can't use this one for the two sides. Then you cut it out. So once that is cut out, this is what you have. So this is my outer sole. I'm going to cut 2 pieces of that. Then I'll cut 2 pieces of my fabric the same way. So these 2 pieces of my fabric for the 2 feet. Then 2 pieces of my interfacing. Finally, I cut 2 pieces of my lining fabric. Now for the lining fabric, you can still make use of your main fabric if you want, but I'm making use of taffeta. So all these 3 now, I'm going to separate the outer sole from this. And then first, I'll place the lining down, place my interfacing on top, place the main fabric. Then I'll baste it together. Just use a running stitch. You can use your needle and thread to baste this together, or use long longer stitch length on your machine to hold the 3 pieces together. We'll do the same thing for the top, for the 2 pieces. So we'll put it on one side. Then now we'll draw the pattern for the top part of the slippers. So what we're going to do is place your outer sole in the middle of your drafting paper. We're going to find the midpoint of this, like half of this, which is somewhere around here. Then I'm going to trace it. Then add 2 inches all around and cut out your pattern. You're going to have something like this. So with this, I'm going to cut my main fabric, 2 pieces of my main fabric, 2 pieces of my lining fabric, and then 2 pieces of my interfacing. Okay, I'm trying to make, I don't want this class to be too long, so that's why I've already cut all these pieces together. I've cut it out before coming to class. Okay, so, and one thing also that you should consider when you are cutting your fabric pieces, you know, this is African print, it has design. You have to make sure that your slippers match, because if you just cut it from different parts of the fabric, it might end up looking like 2 different slippers. So try and make sure that even though it may not be exactly the same, it's very make sure it's identical. So we're going to place the same way we did for the sole. We're going to place the lining piece first, then the interfacing, the main fabric. We're going to do that for the 2 pieces, then baste it together like we did for the first one. So we're going to go ahead and baste all this together. Then finally, we're going to need long strip, a bias strip. I've cut this bias strip from my lining, from my satin fabric. You can use, if you like, you can still make use of your African print, but I like a contrasting color, so that's why I cut it out for my satin fabric, and so it will add more color to my slippers. So this is going to be used to tape around the slippers. But before we get there, let's quickly baste all this together, then I'll show you the next step in the process. Okay, so I've attached it together, and one thing I forgot to tell you is that when you draft your main pattern for the sole, you should add your allowances. I didn't add any allowance to this one because the slippers I used to draft it is like 2 sizes bigger than the size I want to make. So like the allowance is already there. So try and add allowance to the side, maybe like half or 1 inch, and all around. Also for the top piece, remember I told you that to add 2 inches all around. You can't add 2 inches to the top, because if you do, it will increase the length of your the covering. But if you want the covering on top to come all the way to this part, you can go ahead and increase it. But whatever you add to the top here will reflect on where the top will stop. I hope I'm making sense. What I'm trying to say is, it's not bad for the covering to come even all the way to this place. It's still different kind of style. So whatever you will add to the top of your pattern, you must take into consideration how it will add to the length of the covering. So once you've done that, you're going to tape the front piece. Then we're going to match it up and stitch from the midpoint. You're going to match it up all the way down. So you can see that mine is not stopping at ½ inch. So I must make sure that where this first stop is where the other one will stop. You may have to adjust it a bit for the top to fit, how do I put it, as in stretch it a bit for the top to fit the sole. I'm just going to go ahead and pin all around. You can see there is a little bit more, but by the time I stretch it on top, it will balance back. So once that is done, you're going to have something like this. Basically, our slippers is almost ready. The only thing left now is to tape it all around. We're going to take a bias tape, and I may just start from here and tape it all around. I'm going to tape it all around. So let's quickly do that. Then the final thing, once that is done, let me just explain so that we don't keep going back. Let's assume I've attached my bias strip to this one like this. I'm going to turn the bias strip underneath this way. You can go ahead and stitch, but I'll prefer that you gum it. Just gum it so that it's like this. Then we'll apply gum on the underneath this place, attach gum, apply gum on our sew, then put it together. But first, let's quickly attach the bias strip. Okay, so this is what the final this thing looks like. It's very light, very easy to wear. It's not meant to be worn outside the house. It's house slippers. Is to keep your feet warm when you are in the house. So it's made with very light materials. You don't want to use something heavy, but the truth is you can actually use this technique to create something that you can use outside. Having said that, for those who are interested in learning shoemaking or even bag making, we have an online class that focuses on that, and we'll teach it from scratch just like we did for this one. In fact, that one is even more detailed because we'll show you how to draft the pattern and how to make it. So if you are interested, our classes are always on, and it's on Telegram, and the prices are affordable. For now, the class, we have like 5 different classes, and it's 1,000 naira each, and in each class we have more than 6 lessons. So if you are interested in joining, contact me on any of our Facebook or other of our social media handle, or you can contact me on the number on the screen. So before I leave, I want to give an assignment to everyone who has participated in this class this week. So for the next 7 days, before we meet again next week for the another episode of Inspired Moments with Jumoke, I want you to make your own, then share it on your social media handle, tag at the Inspired Design, and I'll be picking from you have to share it on Instagram and on Facebook, but you also have to share it on our Facebook group, the Inspired Design School of Fashion. So the person with the highest likes and maybe shares, and we'll put everything together, the comments, the first 5 people that has the highest likes and comments or highest interaction with their project will be added free of charge to our shoemaking class, the sneakers class, because there are 2 classes for shoemaking. So I'll be adding you to the sneakers class. So I'll be expecting to see your projects. See you next week, and you have only 1 week to complete this. If I don't get anybody after the end of the 1 week, that means nobody is joining the class for free. All right, see you next week. Bye.